Hi, this is Jennifer Caldwell, and I'll be discussing current event resources as a component of a Media Center collection. So what are current events? Current events are resources that can help to keep the Media Center's collection fresh and current. They're a little bit more up to date than your traditional print resources. They can include magazines, newspapers, and other online news resources that are versions of magazines or newspapers, or even online news shows. Some of the benefits of current events: research suggests that it promotes cognitive thinking, research skills, critical thinking, and communication among students. As we think about what 21st century skills students need, communication and critical thinking are two of those big skills, so that's a really big benefit of current events. It also allows teachers to keep their content fresh, and in our YouTube world where students are used to having information at the tip of their fingers, where they use Twitter, Facebook, Instagram to keep up to the minute on their favorite celebrities, athletes, singers, it makes sense that kids would be interested in learning about current events in the classroom as a way to make academics relevant to them. When you're selecting current event materials, you want to keep these selection criteria in mind. Is the material well written with correct spelling and grammar? Is it researched and factually accurate? You don't want to provide your students with information that is not actually accurate. Is the material developmentally appropriate? That includes not only the text and vocabulary of the resource, but also the maturity of the topics that are discussed. And in current events, there is a tendency to have some controversial topics, so it needs to be something that you consider when you select a resource. Also, is the material visually appealing to the students? You want kids to be interested in actually using these resources. And are there any additional features that are available with the resource that you would want to consider when deciding whether or not to select it? The sources or vendors that I'm going to discuss will be Time News for Kids, Newsela, CNN Student News, and Dogo News. This presentation will only briefly describe the benefits and limitations of each of these sources, but on the Google site there's a detailed tutorial and a little bit of a screen tour that I've made for each of these resources that I suggest you really check out to get an idea of what each of these sources looks like and how it feels for a teacher or a student navigating it. Time News for Kids. I'm just going to highlight some of the best benefits and some of the significant limitations. So the best benefits are that it offers a print option. And since Time Magazine is such a reputable company and has been around for such a long time, well respected and widely known, that's a benefit of the Time Kids magazine for students as well. Some of the limitations are that it is a paid subscription to get the print resources, and that some free resources are limited because of the paid subscription option, and it is geared mostly towards elementary students. Time for Kids wins my award for the best print version, so if you're looking to get materials in the hands of students, this is your best choice. CNN students. The best benefits of this are that it's free and that kids love, they absolutely love to be able to watch videos. Just like many adults love to watch the news, kids love the visual format of it. And again, CNN is an adult news source, so there's that connection with the adult news source, which is a nice benefit. The limitations are that this is geared toward middle and high school students, and they actually say on the CNN Student News website a disclaimer that teachers should preview all of these materials before showing them to a class, and that it is geared towards middle and high school. Also, it's housed on the CNN website, so if you're giving the link to students, it's very easy for them to be able to click off of it, off of the CNN student news portion, and then view the adult news, which could sometimes have objectionable material. This one wins for the best video news and could be great used on closed circuit television at your school, especially at a middle or high school. Newsela. The benefits of Newsela is that it is a free online resource. Also, a really neat attribute of this site is that there are multiple Lexile levels for each article, so several students in the same class or in different grade levels could read the same article, but on a level that fits their developmental level. It has comprehension questions for many articles and really relates academically very nicely. The limitations are that it is limited to traditional text and photographs. There aren't videos or as many interactive features in that sense. It's actually geared towards the widest range of grades, 3 through 12, but it wouldn't really be a good match for the younger grades below that. And students must log in to view articles. This one wins the award for Teacher's Choice because it really works so well in the classroom and being able to make connections with science and social studies. The last source is Dogo News. It's a very kid-friendly website. great vocabulary and geography features where kids can actually look up the definitions of the vocabulary words in the text without navigating off the site, and to look at maps of the different locations. And some articles include interactive features like polls and also videos, which are really engaging to the students. The limitations are that these articles are not quite as academically focused. It's a little bit of a wider range, so that means there are many articles that lean towards trivial or pop culture topics, which can be a distraction at times. It also includes options for comments. So there's comments from students all over the world, so sometimes that can be distracting or inappropriate. This wins for probably what I would think would be the kids' choice, the most fun website that kids would really enjoy to be able to interact with and be very kid-friendly for them, especially elementary. All right, so last considerations when choosing materials, you'd have to consider your budget. Do you have a budget to purchase a subscription application, or a subscription to print resources, or is free more what you're looking at? Consider the range of your audience, elementary, middle, or high school, and then the range of students that are going to be using it at your school. And also use that range of your audience to help you decide what format you want, whether you want a text-based, a print-based, or an online-based material. Also consider your teachers. What will they feel comfortable with? What features are they looking for? How are they looking to incorporate current events into their instruction? And use that to help guide your decision. And then a last note, variety and options are great. There's many more than these 4 resources even, but it's sometimes easier for the Media Center specialists and the instructional technology specialists at your school to be able to manage and train teachers if you suggest or highly suggest 1 or 2 materials that you can learn really well to be able to help teachers with. And if you are able to help teachers, they're more likely to actually use the resource and to keep using it in the classroom. Some ideas of how to actually use these current event resources in the classroom to enhance learning would be to target some of those Common Core speaking and listening standards by having the class read an article and then hosting a discussion about what the students have read about their opinions about the article, and then having to support their opinions with evidence from the text. Also, another option, another outlet for discussing articles would be to practice opinion and argument writing, perhaps even using a classroom blog for students to be able to post their opinion and discuss with each other the different aspects of the articles they've read. And then also, there's so many connections that can be made with history and science using a lot of these articles, so teachers can select articles that relate to the content that they're teaching students and be able to make connections to today's world, whether when you're learning about history, make connections to today, or when you're learning about different locations in the world, making connections based on the current events happening in those places. And then for science, how is technology and innovations changing? How are animals and ecosystems changing all around the world? These are the resources that I used in this project, and I hope that you have learned a little bit of something about how to incorporate current events as a part of your Media Center collection. Thank you, and please remember to visit the other parts of the Google Sites to learn more in depth about each of those 4 resources. Thank you for listening.